Are you wasting your life smoking weed? That's a big question. We're gonna dive into that today. Now, as we know, there are people out there that can have productive and successful lives smoking marijuana. I was not one of those people. They are out there though. Now, the question that's being posed here is specific to you, right? It's not about the other people that are doing well. It's not about Snoop Dogg or any of the Wiz Khalifa dudes that are just like balling and making millions of dollars smoking weed. This is about where you are on your journey. And I imagine if you have come to this channel, for me, the question is, why would anyone come to my channel if they're not considering smoking weed or there isn't some curiosity about it? It is funny when I see people in the comments reach out how disgusted they are that someone would be talking about quitting weed and how they're so successful. I just laugh because you just wasted X amount of your life and time watching a video that you don't like. It just doesn't make sense to me. So this is for the people out there that are serious and considering having weed leave their life. Through quitting, through coaching, through recovery groups, whatever it may be, they're sick and tired of it, or at least they're getting to the point where it's like, hey, maybe this isn't as awesome as I thought it was when I was younger. I loved the weed when I started smoking it. It was amazing. However, I couldn't progress past the level I was at. I couldn't expand my consciousness anymore, and I was stuck. And I knew that, okay, if I want to become the person I'm meant to be, it's time to let the weed go. So the big questions to ask yourself, if you are questioning whether you are wasting your life smoking weed, is first one, what opportunities are you losing? Whether it be work, whether it be relationships, whether it be financial, what is slipping through your hands on the day-to-day basis because you're spending that time smoking weed? Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's not super obvious, maybe it's death by 1,000 joints, as we like to say, right? Just slow cuts to the soul and to the psyche until you're kind of left feeling empty. That's what it was like for me. It wasn't like an instant boom, like all of a sudden my life was shit. It was just slow progression over time. Now what's great about that is when you think about it, reverse that, right? Let's say we're doing something positive. We get slow progression over time, right? So I wasn't using my time wisely. I was using it to get high, to escape reality, to watch TV, play video games, be a bum basically, when what I really wanted was to, have relationships, make money, have a cool career, whatever. So now there are some people that surprisingly can't smoke weed and do all those things, be productive, be motivated, right? It's funny though when those people reach out because it's like, okay, you're very angry about this. So, I wouldn't trade that success or, career growth or whatever in your life for the anger that you have. It's not worth it. It's like, I'm not spending time like hating on other people or watching gossip or whatever. Like, I don't even watch the news. I haven't watched the news in over 7 years, besides one time when they had the presidential inauguration, and I only did so to see my dad's reaction. And then as soon as that, I couldn't even watch it for more than 2 minutes. It was that boring. So I keep negativity out of my life. I only like positivity, and I only watch things and consume things that are beneficial to me. So again, it's interesting when someone comes and has a very strong opinion. You're like, all right, man, well, keep smoking weed and keep living your life and behaving the way you're behaving. So that is another thing to ask, are you wasting your life smoking weed? I didn't write it on the board because it just came to me. Emotional stability, right? Are you sacrificing what you could feel in terms of joy, happiness, pleasure, satisfaction, life satisfaction for a quick dopamine hit? Because we know that weed gives you a quick spike and then you level off, and what most people come to me and to this channel about is that they're starting to crash and they're not feeling good when the high is gone. So that's the big thing to ask. Do I want to spend the rest of my life in this up and down cycle of emotion? Or do I want to spend a few years to feel probably a large amount of pain and uncertainty, fear, all that anxiety and stuff that maybe you have suppressed through the weed, to eventually live the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years of your life just nice and chill, right? Having a good time. You have emotional spikes, of course, we're human, but on the whole, it's very nice and calm. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, yeah, life is life and I'm gonna enjoy it how I can. Just kind of laugh about it. So that's what I have benefited, and I'm no longer wasting my life in emotional turmoil, and it feels really good, let me tell you. So the next thing is potential. So are you sacrificing your potential? Man, maybe you in high school, you were the pig shit. Maybe you were really good at sports or had a big athletic ability. And let me tell you, as soon as I started smoking weed, the last thing I wanted to do was put all my focus into fitness anymore. I was in high school, I ran cross country and track. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to be captain for about 3 years. I was on varsity as a freshman. And so I had a great running potential. But as soon as that weed touched my lips, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why would I get high off, the hard work of putting into sports and working really hard towards something, having the success of winning a race or anything like that, when I can just smoke weed and get high instantly without that actual pain? Because if any of you guys have done like running sports, it freaking hurts. You run a long time, as hard as you can. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. And I do it a couple times a week and I'm gassed. So basically I sacrificed my potential for athletics because I wanted to get high and party. That was really hard to face when I got sober. Some of the other things I sacrificed were career opportunities. I dropped out of school multiple times because I just wanted to smoke weed. Hey, again, some of you out there, you can get through school. Most of my friends graduated that I smoked weed with, so it's obviously not pertaining to everyone. However, for a lot of people, especially those that have the addiction to it, weed really starts to take over. So that's not an excuse, but that's just kind of the facts of what is the reality of addiction. Ask yourself, what is weed costing me in my potential? Maybe it's costing me relationship potential. So that goes into the next one. Gosh, the minute I hit puberty, my mission was to date and attract women. And I had a tiny amount of success in high school, basically due to my social status and being good at sports. In reality, I didn't really know how to attract another human being that I was attracted to, in this case, a woman. So when I got into college and I was smoking weed all the time, because I didn't have that base skill, I could not date. And it was very frustrating, and I just wanted to smoke more and more weed to numb that pain. And maybe some of you too have lost a relationship because of weed. Maybe your partner said, hey, you're not living up to your full potential. If you're a guy, as you know, or maybe you don't know yet, women really are attracted to a guy with a purpose and a mission. They don't like laziness unless they're lazy themselves. So a lot of times guys within the relationships, they'll be motivated, working out all the time, being fit, exercising, taking care of their money. They have purpose, they have dreams. And as soon as they get the girl, they're like, yeah, I don't really need anymore because I got the girl. And what happens is the girl slowly loses attraction because those things that attracted her to the man in the first place are suddenly gone. And weed definitely contributes to that, for sure. Especially if you're, unless you're dating a stoner chick, if you're dating an actual healthy woman, she's not gonna put up with, just smoking weed all the time and kind of being lazy and being a bum. So relationships, right? And maybe you still are in a relationship. There obviously are exceptions to this. However, what you might be sacrificing is being fully present, being fully alive with that person. For me, I really value relationships, and something that gives me the most joy is when I can show up for a relationship and have a great time with a person. Now, when you're smoking weed and the weed comes first, all of a sudden the relationship starts to come second. And as a man, for any of the guys watching, we want to have our purpose first. We want to have the universe, higher power, God's spirit first, and then our own lives. And then we don't want to put the woman, above everything else. But we can do that in a way that's still attractive to them when we are putting those positive things above them. When we're being lazy and smoking weed and zapping our serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, all those neurochemicals that we could be using to connect with the other person, and this goes for women too in this example, then that, in my eyes, for me, is a waste of an opportunity. And at the end of the day, when we are on the deathbed, I think for me, I'm gonna think about, okay, how did I get back to the world? How were my relationships? I'm not gonna think, man, that OG Kush from 2022 was really fire. Man, that dab rig was so sick. I'm gonna miss it so much. No, it's gonna be about relationships and all that stuff. So that's the question. Are you wasting your life and relationship potential to be smoking weed? And in the grand scheme of things, your life. Last couple things here are gonna be money and time. These kind of go hand in hand because I find I need time to be out there making money. And also with weed, how much money are you spending on marijuana. I know it can be expensive. Off the rip, hey, maybe it's not too bad. Maybe you're only spending a little bit. It adds up though, and I find that, especially in the West, so many of you guys are probably in the United States, that cost of living can be pretty high depending on where you are. In those bigger cities, you can basically work an $80,000 job just to pay rent, like Washington, for example. I mean, and look at like regular studio apartments now can go up to like $1,000, $1,200 for like not a nice place. And that like kind of is freaky, right? I'm thankfully in a spot where I worked out an arrangement with my roommate where I do his video editings. You see him on the channel, Jaron Scott from Gringo Guides. Check out his channel for learning Spanish and all kinds of traveling abroad tips and topics like that. And Mexico City is a little bit less in terms of cost of living, which is really nice. In the US though, man, God, I needed every cent I had. And even when I was smoking weed, I was still hustling and busting ass. So that is another question to ask yourself. Are you wasting, your living potential and the possibility to actually do nice things, afford nice things once in a while, because you're spending X amount of dollars a week on weed? And to be honest, be really honest with yourself. Add it up. How much are you spending on marijuana? Part of growing up is financial discipline. So I keep track of my expenses. I know what I'm spending and I know what's leaving my bank account. So I'm always on top of my money, and it's kind of stressful sometimes because I can't bullshit myself anymore. At the end of the day though, it's really powerful because I am in harmony with my money and with what the universe has given me instead of wasting it and squandering it. Do I have a splurge sometimes that I'm not expecting? Yes. Do I feel guilty after? I do. So that is my teaching. And each time that happens, I learn a little bit more. As well though, because I'm not smoking weed, I have the opportunity to go out there and the time now to be building a career and earning more money, essentially. Raising my income on a regular basis, doing jobs that give me a sense of purpose, like this YouTube channel, like coaching, like my video editing. And the best part is I get to work for myself. I don't have to work for anybody else. Now, I technically am because I am working for a client in a sense. There's no boss over me telling me what to do. I'm my boss. I tell myself what to do. I wake up in the morning and get my work done. And so because of that, I get to earn money on my terms, basically. It's freaking sick. So that is a huge benefit of myself quitting marijuana is I'm not wasting my life anymore in a dead-end job. I'm doing what I want, when I want, with who I want. And it's awesome. And so that can be for you too. If you're working a dead-end job, how is weed contributing to you staying in that job? Is it hurting your motivation? Is it hurting the ability for you to get home at night and instead of going out there and working on growing your business, learning a skill, maybe taking courses, anything like that, instead you're smoking weed and you're watching TV or you're just playing video games. Now this may be very painful for some of you. I want you to add up how many hours a night you're spending smoking weed, and then take that and add it up over the week and ask yourself, if I spent all that time growing a business or learning a new skill, like I said, going to the gym, going out and learning how to date and have awesome relationships, how far could I be in a year? If I put that many hours a year into X, Y, or Z, how successful could I be? And it'll blow your mind. To be frank, it does take a lot of time to build these skills. This didn't come overnight for me. I had to spend a lot of years trying different things and failing at a lot of things, working regular jobs that weren't going anywhere to get to where I am today. However, I never would have got there if I was smoking weed. So today I am not wasting your life. This video hopefully can encourage you not to waste your life so you can look back one day and be proud of what you have accomplished in this world. Maybe you are stuck and you're feeling like you're wasting your life and you're having trouble overcoming that obstacle. Schedule a call with me for Sober Living one-on-one coaching. We will hop on a call and we will find out exactly what out of these things we talked about today is holding you back and how you can start making progress to have the potential and the life that you want and that you've maybe dreamed of. So for 20 bucks, which is about a gram a week, you can schedule a call with me for 40 minutes and we can dive into your whole history, your life, where you want to be when you overcome this addiction and get you on a plan to start quitting today. It's gonna be a process. It's not gonna come overnight. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna be painful. And again, are you willing to sacrifice that short-term pain for maybe a few months to get to live 40, 50, 60 years of just amazing experiences? If so, hit the link down below and we'll see you on the call. Peace.